Imagine a world where every decision you make is predetermined by an unseen force. It's not a malevolent entity lurking in the shadows, no. It's everywhere, all the time. It's in the air you breathe, in the ground beneath your feet. It's as constant as the beating of your heart, yet as elusive as a whisper in the wind. This force, it doesn't conspire against you. Its intentions are not malicious, yet its omnipresence is unsettling. It's like a puppeteer, pulling the strings, guiding your every move. Every choice you think you make, every path you believe you're choosing, it's all predetermined. Now imagine living with the awareness of this force, the constant dread, the gnawing fear, every moment filled with the terror of knowing that your life is not your own. That's the world our protagonist finds himself in. For our protagonist, this isn't mere imagination, it's his horrifying reality. In this world, our protagonist lives in constant fear, always looking over his shoulder. Imagine being trapped, not by physical chains, but by the unseen, the intangible. This is the reality for our main character, a person who, on the surface, is just like you or me. However, he is a prisoner, not behind bars, but within the confines of his own mind. Day in and day out, his life is a whirlwind of paranoia and fear. It's as if an invisible puppeteer is pulling his strings, making him second-guess his every move, question his every thought. Every creak of a floorboard, every whisper of the wind, every flicker of a shadow sends shivers down his spine. His world is a labyrinth of uncertainty, a maze with no escape. But what if this force isn't just in his mind? One day our protagonist decides to confront this force. A feeling of defiance wells up within him, a desire to take control, to challenge the unseen. He begins to question everything, to challenge the authority of the unknown, to go against its mandates. It's a game of chess between him and this faceless adversary, but he's determined to have the upper hand. Every move he makes is calculated, every decision a countermeasure to the unseen force. Yet the more he struggles, the more it becomes apparent that it's not a battle he can win. The unseen force is always one step ahead, always watching, always waiting. It's an inescapable shadow, a relentless pursuer. A chilling realization dawns on him. He is not just battling an unseen force, he's battling his own fears, his own insecurities. And in the midst of this struggle, a new understanding emerges, a cold comfort. As he struggles, he realizes that he's not alone. Our protagonist isn't the only one who's aware of the force. In this vast world, teeming with life and brimming with secrets, it's a comforting thought that we are never truly alone in our experiences. Our protagonist, tormented by the unseen entity, finds solace in an unexpected place. There are others, more than he could have ever imagined, who are equally aware of the ominous force. They live in the shadows of the ordinary, their lives dictated by the whims of the unseen. These individuals, each with their own haunting tale, have banded together. They're a community, bound not by blood, but by shared fear and mutual understanding. They've turned the terror of the unknown into a beacon of unity. Their stories, whispered in hushed tones, echo through the corridors of their secret world, a grim symphony of shared dread. Our protagonist, once a lone traveler on a terrifying journey, finds himself embraced by this community. The fear, while still palpable, is no longer a solitary burden. It's shared, diluted amidst the group. The protagonist, once lost, now finds a sense of belonging, a semblance of home in the heart of horror. But amidst the camaraderie, the shared meals, the whispered stories, and the quiet moments of understanding, the unseen force watches, ever present, ever vigilant. It's a silent observer, a puppeteer pulling the strings from the darkness. The community, though united, is not safe. They're not free. They're merely players in a grand, macabre performance choreographed by the Force. The Force, as it turns out, is not just a tormentor. It's a maestro, conducting a grim orchestra of fear and suspense, drawing people together only to watch them dance to its eerie tune. The protagonist, the latest addition to this ensemble, is yet to understand the full magnitude of this daunting truth. But the Force had one more twist in store. The Force isn't controlling them, it's them. A chilling revelation that sends a shudder down your spine. It's not a phantom, nor a ghost or a malevolent entity from another world. The unseen force they've been dreading, running from, fighting against. It's not an outsider, but a part of them, an intimate part, a manifestation of their collective consciousness. It's as though they've been living in a house of mirrors, their fears and anxieties bouncing off walls, amplifying, taking a life of their own. They've been the puppeteers all along, their strings attached not to some distant puppet master, but to each other. Their actions, their decisions, their fates have been in their hands. And that's more terrifying than any external threat. They've been living in fear of their own power, their own potential for good or ill. The horror story they've been a part of is one they've authored themselves. In the end, the real horror wasn't the unseen force, but their own minds.